Hello everyone, let us talk about t-test of independent sample. T-test of independent sample. Let's look at the question. It says a chemistry large class was so large that two lecturers, lecturer A and lecturer B, were assigned to teach chemistry 201 with students allocated to them at random. From the results, the following statistics were computed as follows. Look at for lecturer A and look at for lecturer B. For lecturer A, this n means number. So and one was written beside lecturer A and two was written beside lecturer B. That's because they are two. So N1, the number of students for lecturer A is 55, and number of students for lecturer B is 48. X bar means mean. So the mean for lecturer A is 61 and the mean for lecturer B is 63. S means variance. Variance for lecturer A is 3.12 and variance for lecturer B is 2.14. Now look at what the question says. That we should test with appropriate stats that the difference between lecturer A and lecturer B can be attributed to chance. Then we should take the critical value to be what? 1.960 and also draw our conclusion. This is very easy. Let's get at it. So we have what? Solution. So the first thing we are going to do is just to determine the alternative hypothesis and the null hypothesis. So the alternative hypothesis, let's determine the null hypothesis. The null hypothesis is that what? There is no significant difference between the mean achievement of lecturer A and B. This is how null hypothesis is stated. This is for null hypothesis. It is stated in the negative form. Then let us state the alternative hypothesis. The alternative hypothesis for this is what? There is a significant difference between the mean achievement of what? Lecturer A and B. So this is for the alternative hypothesis. And I said lecturer A and lecturer B because they are stated in the question. That was why I chose lecturer A and lecturer B. So now the formula for t-test is equal to what? Mu1, which is what? X bar 1. Mu1 minus what? X bar 2, which is what? Min 2. Divide by the square root of what? The square root of S1 square, S1 square over what? N1 over N1 plus S2 square, S2 square over what? N2. So this is the formula for t-test. And from this formula, what are we going to get? Our mean 1 is what? 61 from here. So we have 61 minus our mean 2. X2 is what? 63. We are applying the formula here over the square root, because of the square root sign, we put the square root of S1. S1 is 3.12. So 3.12 square. We squared it because of from the formula it is squared over what? N1. N1 is 55. 55 plus S2. S2 is 2.14. So 2.14 square. We squared it because from the formula it is squared over what? N2. Our N2 is what? 48. 48. So this will now give us what? 61 minus 63 is what? Minus 2 over 3.112 squared divided by 55 is what? So let me put the square root because of the square root we have here. So if I 3.1 square divided by 55 is what? 0.176 plus then 2.14 square divided by 48. This will give me what? 0.095. So this will now give me minus 2 over, I'm going to add this with this. I'll add these two numbers over the square root of what? These two numbers. Let me add them together. So if I add these two numbers, I will get 0.271. So this will be equal to minus 2 over square root of 0.271 is what? Square root of this is what? 0.52. So, but in t-test, negative sign have been disregarded. So this minus 2, we are going to neglect minus 2. What we are going to do is just to divide 2 by 0.25. So 2 divided by 0.25 is going to give us what? Sorry, 0.52, not 0.25. So 2 divided by 0.52. So this will give us 3.84. So our answer is 3.84, and they say that we should take our critical value to be 1.96. Now from you can see that the calculated value, this is the t calculated. The calculated value, which is 3.84, is greater than the critical value. So the t is greater than what? Is greater than the t critical. The calculated value here, what we got as the calculated value is 3.84, and is greater than the critical value, which is what? 1.960. So what we are going to do is that we are going to do what? We are going to reject the null hypothesis and uphold the alternative hypothesis. The rule is that, look at the rule. If t is greater than t critical, you reject null hypothesis. But if t is less than t critical, you do what? You uphold null hypothesis. But because from this solution, what we got here, you can see that the calculated value is greater than the critical value. So we are going to do what? We are going to reject the null hypothesis and uphold the alternative hypothesis. So therefore, our conclusion is that they say we should draw a conclusion. So our conclusion is that what? There is a significant difference between the mean achievement of lecturer A and lecturer B. So this is our conclusion. We just accepted the alternative hypothesis. Bye.